This is one of the most fascinating things that I've ever seen. This is how biscuits are made in a factory. The entire process is fully automated, and I'm going to show you how they make hundreds of thousands of biscuits every single day. There are three main parts to this process: the mixing, the shaping, and the baking. I'm going to show you how each of these work. But before we get into that, please take a second to subscribe. It really does help out. Thanks, guys. So first, let's look at how the ingredients are mixed together. All of the dry ingredients are combined in a huge bowl. This includes the flour, the sugar, the salt, the leavening agents, and any other seasonings or flavorings. Then the fat is slowly added to the dry ingredients. This is usually in the form of butter, lard, or shortening. The machine then starts to mix all of the ingredients together. You can see how it gradually comes together to form a dough. Once the dough has formed, it goes through a series of rollers that help to smooth it out. Then it's cut up into smaller pieces. Each of these pieces will eventually become a biscuit. The next step is the most fascinating part of the entire process, and that is the lamination. This is where the dough is rolled out into thin sheets and then folded over itself. This creates layers upon layers of dough, which will eventually puff up into the finished biscuit. The dough is first rolled out into a sheet, then it's folded over itself like a letter. It's then rolled out again and folded over again. This process is repeated several times until you have a dough that is several layers thick. This is what gives biscuits their light and airy texture. This is also what makes them so flaky. Each layer of dough acts like its own little pocket of air, which expands when the biscuit is baked. This creates those little holes that we all love in our biscuits. After the laminating process is complete, the dough is cut up into individual pieces. These are then placed on trays and sent off to be baked. The whole process from mixing the ingredients to cutting up the biscuits only takes about 20 minutes. That's pretty fast, considering that these machines can produce hundreds of thousands of biscuits every single day. Now let's take a look at the baking process. The biscuits go into an oven, where they are baked at a high temperature. The heat causes the gases inside the biscuit to expand. This makes the biscuits rise and become fluffy. The hot air also cooks the fat inside the biscuit. This helps to set the texture of the biscuit and makes it nice and flaky. The biscuits are baked for a relatively long time. This allows them to cook through and through. Otherwise, you'll end up with a biscuit that's raw inside. The length of time that the biscuits are baked for varies depending on the type of oven that is being used. In a standard oven, biscuits are baked for around 15 to 20 minutes. However, in a conveyor oven, the baking time is much shorter. This is because the conveyor oven moves the biscuits past a heat source. This allows for more even cooking. The shorter baking time also helps to prevent the biscuits from drying out. After the biscuits are baked, they are removed from the trays and allowed to cool. They are then packaged and shipped off to stores all around the country. So that is how biscuits are made in a factory. The entire process is highly automated, which allows for the production of hundreds of thousands of biscuits every single day. What do you think? Would you want a job working in a biscuit factory? Let me know in the comments below. Also, please take a second to subscribe. It really does help out. Thanks, guys. But if you want to see something really cool, click this video right here. Thanks for watching.